Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Cat Chat. My name is Keaton Gillogley alongside head coach Brent Vigan. And as always, Cat Chat is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. How we doing, everybody? Wonderful, wonderful. You got a 5-0 Big Sky squad in Montana State, coming off the bye week, coming off a great win against Weber State before we head on the road. And Coach, how you feeling coming off that bye week? No game.
Good, yeah. It came at a great time of the season. Obviously, coming off a big win, a physical game like we had.
Yeah.
It was nice to have that week, and I think it served our guys well to be able to get some more rest, I guess, and get back to the basics fundamental wise, and then for us as coaches to get out and do some recruiting as well.
Great. Did you do anything fun, non-football related?
Not really, no. Watch football,
yeah,
I guess.
Football's fun.
Yeah.
And did you get dressed up for Halloween or anything?
No.
So
Working.
you didn't get dressed up, but you were a Halloween costume, weren't you?
Yeah, my youngest son. He'd gone to Josh Allen the last several years, and I think that was over and done with, and he needed a new costume, and that's what Molly and him came up with.
Dressing up as you?
Yeah.
Had the little headset. He had all the cat
headset,
gear
yeah.
on.
Yep.
What was his impersonation of you? Did he do anything?
I think it was just the facial expressions that you saw on social media. I think that was about it.
That's pretty good. Well, that's good. That means he's either really idolizes you or he thinks you're a really scary costume.
Hopefully the first, but probably a little bit of both.
All right, well, let's get to some of the roster news and some of the guys who have been kind of in and out here. So obviously a lot of movement. Clevan Thomas was unavailable for this last game, so he'll be unavailable for Northern Arizona, correct?
Yeah, I think it'll be one more game.
Okay.
We'll wait and see, but I think it'll be one more game.
Okay, so that's good news there. Sean Chambers did not play in this last game against Weber State. What's his status?
Sean's still day-to-day. I think Sean played a couple of physical games back a while back now,
Right.
and there was some lingering effects, and so he's day-to-day. He'll make the trip with us, and we'll kind of see how he progresses through this week.
All right, so Thomas out, Sean Chambers day-to-day. Lane Sumner went out late in that game against Weber State. What's his status?
Lane's, I'd say, week to week. Unfortunately, he went out late in that game. It was his last carry, and one more thing for Lane, but he'll be back, and we'll kind of get it reassessed at the end of this week. What his availability will be for next week.
Okay, and so that's the kind of negative so far. But let's get to some of the positives. We're done with the false starts on Rylan Ort. Rylan Ort will be back. He's good to go.
Yes, he got reinstated early last week, and that's really exciting for him. Knew that he was going to have to pay a penalty, and he did. And then that's had a couple more games added onto it. It's been frustrating for him, but. He's continued to work, and I know he's really going to help us out, both on and off the field. It was fun to see Rylan so in tune that Weber game as far as, picking the guys up and doing all that. So now to see him doing that while being able to play will be that much better.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, and then the other positive news on the offensive side, Coy Steele is back as well. So really exciting to see him get out there and make his season debut.
Yeah, long road back for Coy. Got hurt fourth game last year, and it looked like it might be a career-ending deal. And ultimately Coy decided to take one more crack at it. Worked real hard, and it was one of those deals. Timing, was going to be hard to determine, and here we are beginning in November, and he's been practicing with us, more and more as the last couple months have gone on, and he's going to give us a big boost as well. Not only on offense, but then on special teams, and then Coy's one of our best leaders in my opinion, and being out there playing and leading is different than being on the side and leading. So I think we'll gain in a lot of different ways from Coy's ability to come back.
Yeah, a little easier to lead by example when you can actually make an example.
Yeah, and Coy doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does, it's thoughtful and pointed, I guess, and exactly. I think he feels more comfortable in speaking when he's out there doing stuff.
Yeah, that's great. That's exciting. I mean, it's just so hard when you're trying to recover like that and going through all the rehab. Can you kind of just bring us into, like, the monotony of that rehab, having to go through all those little things just to get your way back? I mean, what is that process like for a player like Coy?
Well, I think his was a ruptured patella tendon. That's a serious injury, and he'd had knee issues prior to that, going back to high school. So, the thought of going through another recovery, I guess, is the first thing you got, the biggest hurdle to start. Am I going to be willing to do this? And I think you look at it from a big picture perspective. Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be more than a year? Is it going to be 10 months? I think was wishful thinking in his situation. So you just get after it, and the progress I think in his situation was hard to see for a while. But I know thinking back to last year this time. He was probably about a month removed from surgery, and I think he started to see some progress back this time last year. And then, put the ball in his court. He went through senior day last year, and he still had some schooling he wanted to take up in the spring semester. So, just if this continues to progress the way you want it, no spring ball involved, just a lot of hard work, a lot of time spent in that training room doing the same thing over and over again and seeing little advances. I think mentally that's the hard part. You just know it's going to take a long time, and there's a lot of commitment that goes into that. But he has been committed, and I'm thankful for him that he's got this opportunity to come back and finish on his own terms. He finished with a great play back in Portland. It was a great punt return that he got hurt on, but ultimately a guy like him, you want to finish on his own terms playing and obviously not ending with an injury.
Exciting. So we're going to see some good energy from a couple of guys making their season debuts against Northern Arizona. All right, here are some of the guests we're going to have today. We're going to have linebacker Nolan Askelson join us today, so it'll be nice to talk to Nolan. And then offensive lineman Omar Ibedian will be joining us as well. So we'll have Omar with us, and then we're going to be talking a little bit of volleyball. Also, Cole Ayazi is here along with Casey Odell, so we're going to be talking some volleyball. But, Coach, I want to ask you about one of those plays from Ibedian in that Weber State game. I think people probably remember this play. He pulled and got so far outside on one of those Tommy Malott runs, on one of those runs to the outside. I don't know that I've ever seen an offensive lineman just out there sprinting and keeping up with everybody and pushing two guys around. That had to be really a rewarding play to watch, to see a guy that far out.
A lot of times those guys aren't in space, and that so they not a lot. It's hard to for a fan to see exactly what they're up to. But that one, Omar was out in the clear. He was running, and he's a big guy running, and that was a play designed because both him and JT are mobile at guard. Cole's saying the same way. We can get those guys out in front, and I know it was captured perfectly. I think it was Brandon that Sullivan that caught it, and it was posted on Twitter. So he got the acclaim. Where JT, we ran the play later with JT, no one saw
right.
it, I guess. But Omar did a great job on that and has been really progressing as this season's gone along. He's a young guy, just second year removed from high school, but he's injected a lot of physicality and a joy for playing football, in that offensive line, and thankful we got him to join us last spring.
Yeah, it's been fun watching the way this offensive line has worked. Obviously, the rushing game has been tremendous throughout the season. I mean, I think to a lot of people, maybe the offensive line might be one of your bigger surprises of the year because of all the stuff that you lost, all the talent you lost. But from your perspective, I mean, have these guys exceeded expectations, or do you feel like they've hit what you thought their ceiling would be?
No to the following. I think this group has a ways they can go, and they're a young group still. There's really everybody's got at least a year left. A lot of cases, guys have 2 years left, 3 years left, and with those years' experience on top of the winners in the weight room and all that kind of stuff is all in front of them. So no, we're really excited about what they'll continue to bring to the table, but I think as far as expectations go, I think we thought that they could be a good group. And where we were going to maybe gauge that was mid-season. We're past the mid-season point. I think they've done really well, and that's what we expected them to do. And there's enough competition in there that I think they all know that the standard better be held up to, or we can put another guy in there too. So we got a good thing going there on the offensive line, and I know we got some young guys, coming along as well. And that's, offensively, that's where it does start for us. If we can be good to great up front, we can do a lot of things.
All right, I got one question here from Bob. He wanted to know if any players you have on the roster right now are interested in going into the coaching profession. You got any future coaches on the roster right now?
I think they all watch how much we're around and think that it's the craziest thing they can think of doing. No, no, I think we do. We have no one at this point that's absolutely wants to follow the college track. I know we got some guys that are education majors that will likely end up coaching at the high school level. But I know there's definitely some guys interested. No one, I don't think, out of this senior group that will be jumping right into college coaching. But it always helps to have those type of players, those guys that are real students of the game that kind of have maybe a purpose as far as the learning the ins and outs a little bit more, because it's ultimately what they want to do beyond college.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool to see that kind of move forward. All right, final question for you. How many people who are here at Buffalo Wild Wings were at the game against Weber State, brave the weather, brave the cold? Beautiful, beautiful. That's a lot. That last drive in that fourth quarter, man, that was so loud, that was so rocking. What was it like down the field, hearing the way Cat Country got behind you in that moment?
Well, we needed it. I know that. And they start. We had a great punt to get them back. I think they were on the 9 or 10 yard line. They had a long ways to go, and they had to overcome that long distance. They had to overcome our defense, and they had to overcome the crowd, and it didn't work. And I think all those things worked against them. They got a couple fourth down conversions, but ultimately, I think the crowd made a big impact, not only on them, but then I know that the crowd lifts our guys up as well. So ultimately, we were able to keep them out of the end zone and finish that game off. But thankful that we have the home field advantage that we do, and we'll obviously continue to need that moving forward.
No doubt about it. So one more regular season home game coming up on November 19th against that other team who's a little further west than us. But 2 more road games and then some playoffs after that as things get toward the end of the regular season. All right, Coach, we're going to let you off the hook here for a little bit, and we're going to get Cole Iazzi up here, and we're going to talk a little bit of volleyball as Senior Day is coming up for the volleyball squad. You can enjoy Cat Chat, the official radio show of head coach Brent Vigan and Bobcat Athletics, over wings and beer every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. only at Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, we're taking a break. This is Cat Chat from Learfield. All right, all right, all right. We are giving away an umbrella. Does this have a logo on it or anything? It's got. Okay, so we got a Bobcat logo. Is it Cat's logo? It looks like it's Cat's script logo. You're going to hold that up for me, Chris. Evie usually does this, so you're not really used to it, are you? Rookie. We had Evie in midseason form. All right, here we go. I'm going to read the last 4 numbers here. Last 4 numbers. 6676. 6676. Bingo. There it is. Let's be careful with the cord now. Hello and welcome back to Cat Chat, live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Universal Athletic has been a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics for over 45 years. Shop their great selection of Bobcat apparel and accessories for all your game day needs. Shop in-store at their 7th Avenue locations or online. Shop msubobcats.com. Go Cats. All right, I'm Keaton Galogly, and we are now joined by the volleyball head coach Cole Iazzi and Casey Odell. How we doing, guys?
Good.
Awesome.
Yep, happy to be here.
Yes, you guys are getting into the final stretch of the season. How you guys holding up? You kind of worn down? You excited? I don't know. How you feeling?
No, not at all. We're prepared. We're all good.
Yeah, that's why you put all that work in over the summer?
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. So you all have senior day coming up this weekend. So obviously football will be out of town, but you still have plenty of sports to watch. In addition to Monday, by the way, the women's basketball team will open things up at 11 a.m. But these guys on Thursday at 7 p.m., they host Sac State. And then on Saturday, it's senior day, 7 o'clock against first place Portland State. So big game. Should have a nice crowd there with senior day. But Casey, you're a senior looking ahead here to the final home game. I don't know, what are the emotions like as you get toward the end here?
I think at this point it's honestly just bittersweet. I think just not this is going to be the last game of being with my teammates, of like being in Troyer and having the fans and the support that we have. I think it's just it's going to be unreal. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. What can we expect out of that atmosphere, you think, on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm hoping Bobcat Nation comes watch us both games for the last, Sac State and Portland State. And Portland State's a big one. We could pull an upset. That'd be really big going in the tournament. But we get to celebrate Casey. She's our only senior. So we're, as much as it's senior day, we're calling it Casey Day. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And Casey, what have you been majoring in? What's going to be next after college is over?
Yeah, so pretty much I'm just in exercise science right now, and the plan is long-term med school, and I guess pretty much I want to be a forensic pathologist, so that's my end goal. But grad school is up next, and kind of get another degree under my belt before going into med school.
Okay. Have you picked out the grad school? Where are you at in that process? Or?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much going to move back to Arizona, and ASU is probably my choice that I'll go to. So.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
still a lot of schooling left for you.
Yeah, a lot of sand volleyball once I get back to Arizona. That's for sure.
Well, that's interesting too. I mean, I don't know how much sand volleyball versus court volleyball did you play growing up?
Well, my touch is really good right now, so a lot of sand volleyball when I was in high school. Isn't that right, Cole?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's looking at me, and, they're struggling on what position to put me in because I'm just kind of good at all of them, the setting, good touch. So sand volleyball is going to be really good.
Yeah. I don't know when you're recruiting people, how different does it look if you're watching people on sand volleyball versus court?
Yeah, it's very different. Casey's a middle, so she's making fun of herself right now because she doesn't pass for us. Yeah, I think the game is very different, and so recruiting-wise, it is very separate.
Yeah. So pretty obviously, it's only 2 people versus 6 plus a full rotation.
Right.
Because there's no substitutions in sand volleyball, right? It's just the straight 2.
Yeah, no, and I'm pretty much strictly recreational. So.
Well, Cole, how's the season been for you all? I mean, it's been a little bit up and down, but the last couple of matches, you guys have gotten a couple of wins. So I don't know, how would you evaluate where you guys are right now?
Yeah, I think we have been very inconsistent. We're really trying to clean things up. We're switching some things up this week, and we're hoping that we can get hot going in November. I think the group believes in who we are and what we can do, and it's really just about piecing it together at the right time. I think we talked to Coach Benford a lot, and she talked about how they were also struggling kind of last year, and then in March they kind of found their stride, and that's kind of what we're talking about right now. Is like we could be the team we want to be by the tournament, and we still have time, and it's about doing it now. So we believe in what's happening. We're really excited about what's happening, and we play some good teams coming up that will really test us and get us ready. So
you get a win on Casey night, on senior night, and things will certainly be looking up in the right direction.
Yes.
Well, Casey, help us understand a little bit more about your journey. I mean, what is Montana State? What has Bozeman? What has being a Bobcat meant to you over the last 5 years through everything everybody at this point has had to deal with over those last 5 years?
Yeah. Coming here, the big reason I came here was just because I had family close by, so about like 5 minutes away from campus. So, obviously I come here and you fall in love with the campus and just how beautiful it is. But I think the big thing that stuck out to me was just going around to different restaurants and seeing that Go Cats, I think just really stuck with me. And so, throughout my 5 years, just seeing the Bobcat Nation grow and, selling out or filling the brick and packing that brick was insane. And when we played the Grizz and we packed the whole Schroyer, I think those moments are like insane, and just the support that we get is unmatched. So I think just the support that I get from the fans and stuff like that, it just made it so much better.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think we can get lost a little bit, I think, when, we don't travel. If people aren't traveling around to the rest of the Big Sky to see you all play, maybe we take it for granted a little bit just how many people we have here. How does the support here compare to the rest of the Big Sky?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, compared to our gym, it does not match. It does not compare. Like, I think we have, even when we travel, we have more Bobcat fans in other people's gyms.
Really?
I mean, just families and just how loud they are and how much they believe in us, they show up. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I guess it's like that for all the sports. There's always a nice little cat contingent somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other big news for you guys this week, Kira Thompson got her 1,000th career kill, 17th in program history to get to that mark. Pretty cool. What does it mean to you, Cole, watching Kira get to this mark?
Yeah, I think ever since her freshman year, Kira's really came in and kind of earned everything that she's got in her career here, and 1,000 kills just was the kind of a check mark for her. We get her back another year, and so we just we rely on her a lot. We expect a lot from her, and so it's really cool to celebrate that with her.
Yeah.
It's a lot of swings.
Yeah, it is. Well, from your perspective, watching Kira doing that, how exciting is it?
I mean, I spent so much time with her, being her roommate and her teammate. I think I'm just so proud of her, and just the accomplishment that you get to see is everyone gets to realize how much work she puts in, and getting that achievement and that award is insane.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a lot of kills, as you said, a lot of swings.
Yeah.
Her shoulder's still holding up all right?
Yeah.
Cool. So we got the 1,000th career kill for Kira Thompson. We got matches coming up on Thursday at 7 o'clock, Saturday at 7 o'clock, and then a couple of road matches before that Big Sky tournament. So here we go, getting down the stretch. Any other final thoughts? Anything we should be looking forward to over these last 2 weeks or so?
No, just bring the energy this week. I think it's a big week for us to gain momentum, and we could use all of Bobcat Nation to help do that. So
I love it. All right, so make sure you get out there on Thursday and Saturday, and we can carry that momentum over to Missoula after that. Sound good?
Yep, exactly.
All right, I love it. Casey Odell and Cole Iazzi of the volleyball squad joining us today. Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
Eagle Mount Bozeman is committed to providing quality adaptive recreation and sport opportunities for people with disabilities and young people impacted by cancer, and to provide support for families of participants so that they shall mount up with wings as eagles. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we will be joined by linebacker Nolan Askelson. This is Cat Chat from Learfield. All right. Oh, good. We got our pro back. Evie's back now. Thank goodness. All right. Evie, what do we got? Is that another Yeti? All right. I know we've given away some of the Yetis. How good have those been keeping your drinks either warm or cold? Pretty good? Yeah. I see a thumbs up out there. Good. All right. So we got a gold Yeti with a silver Cats logo on it. All right. I'm going to read the last four numbers. I'm going to make sure I pick a good one, and hopefully I don't pick the same table. All right. Here we go. Last four. 6656. Some groans. 6656. Almost. 6656. Ooh, I don't know. We got it? We found it? Bingo! There it is. Welcome back live to Cat Chat at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm Keaton Galogly alongside linebacker Nolan Askelson, and we want to remind you that you can enjoy Cat Chat, the official radio show of head coach Brent Vigan and Bobcat Athletics, over wings and beer every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. only at Buffalo Wild Wings. All right, Nolan, how we doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'm feeling well. How you feeling at this point in the season? Kind of getting into November. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I think it was a perfect time for a bye week. Just time to, step away from football for a little bit and just kind of get that energy back and just get excited for the end of the season and just get healthy again.
Yeah, get that little mental break.
Yeah.
Did you do anything in particular to kind of take a deep breath, or?
Not in particular. Just relaxed. Stayed off my feet. Tried to, just not watch too much football all weekend and get outside, do other type of stuff. So
yeah, when you are watching football, when you're not playing, what are you watching? You watching more college? You watching more NFL? I don't know. What's your go-to?
I'm definitely more of a college fan, but I'm a big Green Bay Packers fan, so it's been tough this year.
We got a couple Packer fans in the house.
Yeah, not looking too good, but I still got to support them. But no, I'll definitely watch college football first.
Yeah. Did you? What do you watch at the FBS level? Anybody in particular, or just whatever the big game of the week?
Yeah, just big games. Grew up a Boise State fan, so always like to check in on them. But again, not looking too good, so have to go watch some other games for some good action.
Yeah, well, watching your games has been some pretty good action. That's been going pretty well, am I right?
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Well, first of all, I want to ask you the same thing I asked Brent just about that fourth quarter drive, that final drive of the game that ends with the Callahan-O'Reilly sack, essentially. What was it like, man? What was it? How loud was it? How was that energy on the field when you're actually playing in that stretch?
Yeah, it was crazy. You kind of try to block everything out, and in a moment like that, you just got to stay dialed and focus on the details. And we love our fans, and obviously they play a big role every game, no matter who's in the game or how close it is. But in a moment like that, you really just got to focus on the details and remember your coaching and just go out there and do your job.
Yeah, you did the job and got it done. And I think your job's been kind of interesting this year. Brent called you basically a starter off the bench coming in because you've kind of rotated in. How have you settled into that role? How do you like kind of jumping into a couple different positions, but not technically starting, but getting a lot of reps?
It's awesome. I mean, I like just being able to help the team win games. Whatever role I can have, I own it. It allows me to play a lot of special teams, which I love. I mean, I like to. I think I'm a special team soldier, kind of. I sell my soul on those, and I think that it's a big part of the game that a lot of fans and people overlook. So to be able to have an impact on that, I think is huge. And then just stepping in and keeping Cal and Danny fresh and healthy, I think is helps. As we want to make some long playoff runs, so keeping guys like that fresh is always a positive.
Yeah, I mean, the special teams is such an interesting conversation. We've talked to a couple of the special team guys here throughout the week and obviously, or the year, and obviously special teams were big with all the muff snaps they had, which, by the way, Grant Sands, who did struggle in that game, he did snap for Weber State last week and was good to go, so he was all right. So kind of glad he didn't have too many of the yips, but we'll take it for our section. But what makes a good special teams player? What makes a good special teams soldier?
I mean, first off, just, owning your role and, whatever facet it is, whatever, unit you're on, just owning that and being dialed and taking coaching and, preparing, getting film study so you know what to expect when game time comes. And then I think just, someone who can fly around, who just really, on those coverage teams, running, tackling is really all it's about. So that's where, being a linebacker, I think I pride myself on that, being able to run and tackle. And then, on return teams, it's kind of just putting yourself in the right position. And, again, that's a lot of just preparation and taking coaching.
I want to talk a little bit about last year. Obviously, you were hurt for a big chunk of the year, but, you had a front row seat to watching what Troy Anderson did last year and obviously what he's doing at the NFL level right now. When you think back to his season, is there anything you took out of his game that maybe you're incorporating, anything you learned that has kind of gotten into your philosophy of playing the linebacker position?
It's hard to take stuff away from a kid who's that naturally athletic. I'd love to take that part away from it, but, that's not quite possible. But honestly, one of the things that I love that, for me, just as my younger years here, I feel like sometimes I was overthinking stuff. And I think just watching him play, I mean, only, his first year truly playing inside linebacker, just the way when stuff broke down or if he wasn't sure, he just went and just made a play and just found the ball and did what he could do. And I think that's kind of something I took away is, in those moments when you're not sure, just be an athlete, be a football player, and go make a play.
Yeah, that's cool. That's probably good advice even for Pop 1 or Pee Wee football. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how you grow up. Your instincts start growing inside you, and that's just got to take over sometimes.
Yeah. So do you feel like your instincts are starting to take over now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just coming back from injury, through spring ball and fall camp, I feel like I had to shake the rust off a little bit, but I'm feeling good. Yep.
Was there a moment where you felt like it kind of finally shook off? Like, did you have a game or a play, or was it more gradual?
I'd say it was kind of gradual, but I really feel like once conference started, I really started to hit my stride. And then Eastern Washington, I feel like it was a pretty good game. And then Northern Colorado, I feel like I really started getting in the groove.
Yeah, you led the team in tackles in that Northern Colorado game, and that was a game we needed you as we got through. I want to ask you about a couple of your other teammates, too. Callahan O'Reilly's having a great year. You look at his stats, too. It's just filled up everywhere. He's got 3 interceptions, couple of forced fumbles, a fumble recovery. He got his first sack of the year. He's got over 50 tackles at this point. What's it like watching Cal week to week?
Oh, it's an honor, man, just to go to work with him every day and see the approach he takes. He is truly a professional, and it's crazy just, on a week-to-week basis, just sitting in there in meetings with him. And, he's just having conversations with Daly about certain things like, I keep seeing this on film, what if we tried this? And just stuff that, a player, you usually don't, players aren't doing that, talking to their coaches about game plan stuff. You're just trying to focus on your job. And he's so dialed on his job that he's taking it the next step, helping the other guys understand stuff, talking to coaches about stuff that he sees. And it's awesome, man. I love Cal. He's a great leader for the entire team, but I really look up to him and the way he just approaches every day. It's amazing.
Sounds interesting. Sounds like it's really collaborative for you guys when you are going through your game planning. Bobby Daly, a great player here. The Daly family, a great Bobcat family. A legacy guy. What's it like, in that linebacker room when you work with Bobby, getting ready week to week?
He just does a great job giving us everything we need to know to, be successful on Saturdays. He at times can put a lot on us, but I think it's because he knows that we care so much and that we are willing to do the extra work to make sure that we're prepared. And so he's given us, all the formation tendencies, backfield tendencies, down and distance tendencies, everything. He's dialed, he's a great coach. He knows what he's talking about, fundamentals, obviously. Obviously, he has those, the way he played. Go back, watch his tape. He knows how to get it done. But, he's awesome, and, he really cares about us and make sure we're in the right headspace all the time. It goes beyond the football field with him, which is something that I really respect and look up to him for. And, it's a lot of fun. I mean, like you said, obviously he played here and was an All-American, so there's a lot of tradition, I feel like, in the linebacker room. A big tradition being, Montana guys being in those spots. So I think it's awesome, and I love being in that room with all those guys.
Yeah, when did you watch any of his tape? I mean, I don't know, did you watch him play? Did you look him up on YouTube? Like, was there a moment where you're like, I don't know if I believe this guy. Let me go check and see if he really knew what he was doing.
Nah, yeah, I actually, I can't remember what I was doing. I was kind of just bored one day, and I just looked up some old film. I kind of wanted to see how he played because I always heard all these stories and watched a couple games of him flying around back there. It was awesome.
Yeah, so you're going to listen to him now after that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, a little. I'll pay a little extra attention, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Nolan Askelson, man, really appreciate the time. It's been a lot of fun watching you play. We got a few more years of watching you play too, right?
One more, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's always so kind of weird trying to figure out what everybody's situation is. So you got one more?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to this
Awesome.
year and next year.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, Nolan Askelson.
Thank you.
Omar Ibedian's coming up next after this timeout. Eagle Mount Bozeman is committed to providing quality adaptive recreation and sport opportunities for people with disabilities and young people impacted by cancer, as well as providing support for families of participants so that they shall mount up with wings as eagles. All right, we will take a break. This is Cat Chat from Learfield. All right. What's up next? The $50 gift card to the bookstore. Now, don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, you can come to Buffalo Wild Wings and maybe you can win something. All right, here we go. I'm going to list off the last four numbers. Here we go. 6650. 6650. Bingo! We got it. 3 different tables. We are back on Cat Chat, live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Universal Athletic has been a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics for over 45 years. Shop their great selection of Bobcat apparel and accessories for all your game day needs. Shop in-store at their 7th Avenue location or online at shopmsubobcats.com. Go Cats. All right, I'm Keaton Gilogly alongside offensive lineman Omar Ibedian. Omar, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm feeling good. Excited to get back to it with a kickoff at 2 o'clock on Saturday at Northern Arizona, coming off the bye week. Let's start with the play we talked about earlier, the one that got up on social media, you pulling out in front of Tommy Malott.
Right.
When you got out there, were you kind of surprised there was nobody else out there?
That's kind of how we schemed it up all week. Pulling around, I was trying to hit the corner as hard as I could, so I was trying to run as fast as I could out there. Yeah, that's pretty much how we expected the play to come out.
Yeah, it was something else. I don't know, is that the quickest you've gotten moving? Like, is that your fastest 10-yard, 40-yard time?
So usually we keep these I can't even remember what it's called, but
Like
usually
little
tracks
monitors,
our heart
fitness
rate and our
tracks,
speed,
yeah.
and that's definitely the fastest I've went all
Was it?
season. Yes.
Do you remember what the numbers were?
I think it was 17 miles per hour.
17 miles an hour? I can't
Yes,
fact
sir.
check it, so we'll believe you. That's pretty good. I don't know that I could run 17 miles an hour. We know what James Campbell is running. I don't know. We need to look up what his are.
Something in the 20s, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, how's this season been for you? So first of all, actually, before I ask you that, give us a little bit of your timeline from high school now to getting here. What has that timeline been?
Okay, I originally graduated high school in 21, and then last year I spent about a semester and a month at the military academy, and then I ended up transferring here and coming in at the beginning of summer workouts.
Okay.
So that's pretty much the timeline of what it's come to.
What was the transfer process like? What were some of the schools you were looking at? What were some of the interests you had?
At the end of the day, I kind of narrowed it down to 2 schools, which was here in Sam Houston, and then I went on my visit here. My now teammates were very welcoming, loved the community, loved the support the fans gave. So after the visit, there was like no question if I was coming here.
Really? So the visit kind of sealed it for you?
Yes, sir.
Even though now you're a Texas man too.
Yes, sir.
So Sam Houston would have been fairly close to home.
Yes, sir.
And you still decided to come all the way up here?
Yes, sir.
All right, I like it. We'll take you as a transplant for sure.
Oh yeah.
You ready to go for winter here? I mean, as a Texas boy, you got your big winter coats?
Oh yeah. I've been trying to stock up on those.
Yeah.
Winter here is definitely different than winter in Texas, but
We'll be
we're
all
gonna
right.
stay positive.
Yeah, we'll be all right. Piece of advice: no bad weather, just bad clothing. Just got to layer up right, and you'll
Right.
be
Right.
okay. So how's this season been going for you? I mean, it's been quite the ride. Took a couple games to get on the field.
Right.
Got a start last week or 2 weeks ago against Weber State. What's the
Right.
journey been like this season?
I feel like every week I've just been trying to get better. Trying to perform when my numbers called. Unfortunately, we had 2 offensive linemen go down in the Northern Colorado game. So going to Weber, I know I had to step up and fill the roles of the 2 linemen that went down. So
Where do you feel like you've improved the most? What are some of the things you've really been focused on throughout the year?
just coming into a new offensive scheme is just all about learning it. I feel like that's definitely where I've made the most progress, just learning the scheme and learning the techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah. Have you had to put much weight on, or were you kind of already at a good weight? I don't know. What's your fitness journey been like?
I kind of came in I stay in our room on the heavier side of the offensive line we have, so weight gain wasn't really like one of my top priorities. It was really like maintaining it.
Right.
So that's definitely what's going on now. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously got to eat a lot of calories. And
Right.
love asking all the linemen what their favorite
Oh,
meals
yeah.
are. What's your favorite big meal, your high caloric meal?
Oh man, I definitely like chicken Alfredo.
Chicken Alfredo.
Yes,
That's
sir.
pretty good. You eat that in like a regular human-sized plate, or you get like one of those mixing bowls and really turn it up?
More on the big bowl side.
Right. The
Yes, sir.
ones I would use for serving.
Yeah.
You're going to be using that as your meal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, It's a grind, man. I mean, you guys burn a ton of calories when you're out there, and that's
Oh, yeah.
just what you got to do.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
What's it like going up against this defensive line that Montana State has? You know, we've had a chance to watch those guys. We've talked to a number of them. You know, Sebastian Valdez has been a star so far.
Oh, yeah.
What's it like going up against those guys every day in practice?
Oh, yeah. Those guys are definitely, the best D linemen I've ever played against. So I enjoy the opportunities I get to go against them. I always think of it as an opportunity to get better. Going against one of the, or actually I would say the best D lineman, probably in our conference. So yeah, those guys are pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun going up and playing the best every week. It
Right.
helps bring it out once you get out into the field to play.
Right.
Now, did you know Drew Polidor before you got here, one of the cornerbacks here?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I did.
Okay.
Me and him actually went to rival high schools. So.
Okay. Rival high school. So who got the better of who?
He beat me senior year, but we're 3-1 versus him. So.
All right. So he got the last laugh, but you had more laughs.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Did you guys communicate the recruiting process? What was the timeline? Because he transferred from Air Force over here as well. So
Right.
What was your guys' timeline getting over here to Bozeman?
I believe he came. I believe at the start of this spring semester.
Okay.
And before that, me and him weren't really too close.
Right.
But then when I entered the transfer portal, obviously him being committed here and me getting recruited here, he was a big deal, a part of that. He was telling me, what's the word for it? Basically the changes, coming from Texas to Montana, and how supportive the community was. He was definitely like, a big decision on me coming here.
Yeah, so it sounds like he had a lot of positive things to say, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, sir.
What's one really big, outside of like the weather, what's one really big difference between Texas and Montana?
Ooh, besides the weather. Ooh.
They're both states with a lot of big space, a lot of places to drive. I'm sure really good barbecue.
Oh yeah. Man, kind of put me on the
Oh,
spot.
man, my bad. My goal is never to put somebody on the spot. You can just say the weather if you want.
Yeah. Ooh.
All right, so nothing too major.
We'll have to come back to that one.
All right. You can tweet it out or let me know later.
That sounds good.
But that's cool. So that you and Drew Polidor were rivals, and now playing on the team together, playing as a
Right.
squad together. What's Drew like? What kind of player is he like from your perspective? What kind of guy is he like?
Right, Drew's a great player. He's very athletic. He works hard. He's he puts the team first. Definitely a person I look up to.
Yeah.
He takes care of business. So I think he's a great player.
Asking more about some of these other guys, Brian Armstrong, the offensive line coach. He's been here a
Right.
long time. A very, very experienced guy.
Right.
What's it like playing under Coach Army?
I really like him as offensive line coach. I feel like he's always it doesn't really matter how good you do something, you can always do it better.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way we look at things. I feel like he created a tight knit unit, with all of us. Since I've been here, I've really enjoyed playing for Coach Army. So.
Yeah, it does seem like you guys got a tight-knit unit. Obviously, the thing that made the rounds when you guys were all backing each other up during those interviews.
Oh, yeah.
The whole offensive line, if you didn't see it, would just stand behind whoever was doing those interviews.
Oh, yeah.
In the fall camp. Do you feel menacing? You feel like you got all your boys there when you're ready to go?
Something like that. Yes, sir.
Now, you mentioned how tight a group that is, and Justice Perkins is such a young player. He's your center, and he's really been thrust into
Right.
that leadership role.
Right.
What kind of leader is Justice Perkins?
Justice is a great leader. I don't think anybody else could, lead this group of offensive line as good as he does. He does a great job making sure we're all on the same page. We all know what we're doing. So I couldn't really ask for a better leader than Justice.
Yeah, it's been fun watching you guys kind of coalesce and come together, even with the way all the running backs have gone down. And
Right.
we've been a lot of bad luck there, which is unfortunate.
Right.
But, Elijah Elliott's had some great reps when he
Oh, yeah.
has been in there. Excited to see him get out there
Oh,
again
yeah.
this week.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What kind of runner is he?
Oh, Elijah, he's a physical runner. He's pretty elusive. Every time his number called, he performs. So, me and the offensive line, we have 100% faith in him that he's going to, do what he needs to do to help us get a win.
I got a kind of a weird X's and O's question for you. Can you tailor a hole to the way a guy is the way a runner is? Like, depending on who the running back is back there, do you guys tailor anything, or is it just coming down to a play call?
It's typically the scheme is typically for the team we're playing. Not really. I wouldn't necessarily say the running back.
For sure.
But our different running backs definitely have their own skills. So.
Right. But
No.
so you're never in a moment where you're like, oh, this hole he's going to just love. Oh, this is the block that Elijah Elliott absolutely loves. That's not going through your mind?
Not necessarily, I try to block as hard as I can for all of them.
No doubt, no doubt. Cool. All right, before we let you go, we've gotten some good nicknames from some of the defensive linemen, guys. Anybody got any good nicknames on the offensive line?
Ooh.
Guys just
Man,
all
we
go by
got-
their first names, or you got some good ones?
You got A-Rich,
A-Rich? Who's A-Rich?
Aaron Richards.
Okay.
We got T.Y., Trey Yates.
Okay. T.Y., that's good.
Um,
You got one?
nah.
No, nothing? I feel like you got one, but maybe it's not radio appropriate.
Nah, I would just say I don't have one right now.
Okay, you can tell me off the air whatever you got there.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, well, Northern Arizona coming up on Saturday. You ready to go? Excited
Yes,
to get back to it?
Yes, sir. I'm excited.
All right, Omar Ibedian, a guy we're going to be seeing on this line for a couple of years now. Excited about it. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Omar.
for having me.
All right, we will take a break, and when we get back, we'll be rejoined by head coach Brent Vigan to get you ready for this 2 o'clock kickoff between Montana State and Northern Arizona. This is Cat Chat from Learfield. We are back one final time with Cat Chat at Buffalo Wild Wings. As always, Cat Chat is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm Keaton Galogly, alongside head coach Brent Vigan, as we take a look ahead. Next opponent, this is presented by Vance Thompson Vision. Northern Arizona is on the clock coming up on Saturday. It's a 2 o'clock kick. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock. So, Coach, Northern Arizona, 3-5, 2-3 in conference, but they've got the reigning Big Sky Freshman of the Year at quarterback. That's a really tough place to play down in Flagstaff. We have not had a lot of success down there over the years. What are some of the things people should be looking for in this matchup on Saturday?
Well, they got a good team, and they're 3-5, but I think it could easily be 5-3 just based on a couple of the finishes. They beat Sam Houston early in the year. I know that caught a lot of people's eye. And in conference, we had a good league. And week in, week out, you're going to get everybody's best shot, and playing on the road like we are, I think that's the first obstacle. They've only played 3 home games, so I'm sure they're excited to be back home. It's homecoming for them. You mentioned Martinez, their quarterback. I think that's offensively where it does start for them. He's completing the ball at a high rate, has a lot of different targets. They got 4 guys over 30 catches. Running back wise, their top back got hurt early in the season, so we'll see if he's back yet. He got hurt in the 3rd game. So offensively, they got potential to be really explosive. On defense, I think they got a good front that has been hindered by injury. Just the depth has been cut into a little bit, but they're coming off a bye week as well. So who knows who will show back up? But they've defended people well at times this year, and they are physical. I think that's where that ebb and flow of we can be more physical is such a big thing week in and week out, and it certainly will be this week.
Yeah, you mentioned their offensive line. They've got some of the fewest sacks allowed in the conference. So what are they doing on the offensive line? How's their size in that regard?
Well, they're big, first off. And I think, their scheme and getting the ball out is part of that. Martinez is, got a quick release. They throw it all over the field, so screens and whatnot. So I think that lends itself a little bit. But as many attempts as they've had, as few sacks they had, is impressive. And, they do a good job of scheming up protection to protect him.
All right, so that is Northern Arizona coming up on Saturday, 2 o'clock kickoff for Montana State, and that's our look ahead to the next opponent, presented by Vance Thompson Vision. All right, we got a lot looking ahead over the next 2 weeks as some snow begins to fall here in Bozeman now at this moment. But so we got this game on Saturday. Don't forget, on Thursday, 7 o'clock, volleyball going up against Sac State at home, and then Saturday is their senior day, 7 o'clock versus first place Portland State. So that's coming up here this weekend. And then on Monday, the women's basketball team gets underway at 11 a.m. here at home. And the men's team is getting underway on Monday as well at Grand Canyon University. We'll have coverage of that starting at 6:30 for the 7 o'clock tip-off on Monday. Also tomorrow night, we've got the Bobcat Insider TV show that will be airing at 9 o'clock as well, if you want to hear me and Brent talk even a little bit more. And Ashley Washburn will have another episode of the Final Drive. So that's what we got coming up. Ready to go? Ready to get back at it, Coach?
No question. Yeah, it's great to have a bye, but we're excited to get back at it. We got a tough stretch here, 2 games on the road, and start certainly with this game at Northern Arizona. We got to find a way to come out and play our best yet, and that's the challenge to the guys, and that's the work we put in to get that done, and we'll see how it plays out on Saturday.
The reward for all that hard work is something big to play for here in the month of November, so it's going to be fun down the stretch. All right, so that will wrap everything up. Appreciate head coach Brent Vigan being with us throughout the day and throughout the hour. Thank you, Omar Ibedian. Thank you, Nolan Askelson. Thank you, Casey Odell. Thank you, Cole Iazi. And thanks as well to everybody here with Bobcat Sports Properties, Roger Wexelberg, Chris Kennedy, Evie Wilson, and Hunter Paulson. And for our producer, John O'Connor, back in the studio as well. This is Keaton Galogly saying so long. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you again on Saturday at 1 o'clock. This is Cat Chat from Learfield.